had some opportunities to get back in the game there. Name of the game is that we can't be hesitant early on. Okay, we got to start faster in all ways. Yes, I know we went down and scored first drive, pieced some plays together, and found a way to put it in the end zone. But just the next couple series, both sides of the ball, we got to do a better job. And we had opportunities there in the second half, but we gave them life. We gave them hope and confidence in the first half there. And then what it does is it puts you in a spot where you got to be perfect. You're playing from behind, and you got to be perfect. And the stress on the guys to make every play becomes greater and greater. And I choose to believe we got a good football team, but we can't play on our heels. Like, we're not going to be what we think we can be, what we want to be, if that's the case. And so again, that falls on everyone. I don't just point the finger at the players. Gave the I know the deep, both sides of the ball. I mean, you kind of know what you're going to see, but going into the game, but with new coordinators. But we gotta, we talked in the locker room. There's no excuse about what happened. We step on the football field. They step on the football field, and we got to play ball. We got to play our style of ball. And last year isn't this year, and it's going to be an uphill climb for us. But you can't think of it in the big scope of things. You got to focus on the moment, and the next moment is what happens tomorrow. And we'll find out. We've talked all along about the chemistry on this team, and talked about how close we are, and how hard we've worked, doing a lot of the right things. But we'll find out. We'll find out if that sticks.
Thanks, Coach. Chase, why don't you go ahead and get started far left?
Coach, can you give us any sort of an update on Ryan Williams?
Yeah, you got a concussion.
Okay.
You got a concussion.
Yeah, they had over 200 yards on the ground. There's some improvements made, but why do you think they were able to have the success they did?
Yeah, I mean, you knew going in with the quarterback runs, it was going to be a challenge. He did a nice job, I thought, in the first half of keeping some drives alive, even on passing downs, ones that weren't called runs. They did a nice job getting going sideline to sideline. So a lot of things with those fly sweeps that we worked on, prepared for. Guys got to get one-on-one. You get in space, and you got to find a way to get them on the ground. You got to use your leverage, and you got to find ways to trust your buddies around you that they're in pursuit. And they were piecing together first downs. They kept on the field, and they hit the explosive, down the sideline in the first drive. And they're going to make plays too, and I can live with that. But we got to respond, and just coming out in the second half, thought we settled in other than the one play, and it really felt third quarter going into the fourth quarter. I thought defensively, we kind of got our feet underneath of us, had a kind of an idea of what they're really trying, the rhythm of what they do offensively, and how we call plays, and they do some funky things with the snap count and all that kind of stuff, and it kind of keeps our guys kind of wondering what's next, and not in our own rhythm. I think we got through that after the first half. But then we give them the run, we give them the play, and we kind of let them out with the penalty at the end. The late hit, and we can't live in the gray area. We've talked about that all season long. We can't live in the gray area. It isn't just about that play; it's other things that we got to do. But that certainly adds to it.
Far right, Charlie.
You guys had 7 drives that ended in Florida State territory. I think you only came to points 3 times. What kind of led to you guys being unable to finish? Yeah. That's probably what I know from a frustration standpoint. That's the thing that is frustrating. And so, you win the game, and you look at those and those drives, and you're saying, hey, there's first downs that you're piecing together. You're giving yourself chances, but when you lose the game, you look at it, and you got to understand that there's got to be a competitive stamina. It was a long drive, the first one, and it was hard work. You had to execute. You had to make some big plays, and you did it. Now you got to go back out there, and you got to do it again. You got to stack play after play after play, and we just. We'd have a negative play or that missed opportunity. There were some opportunities out there that we either didn't give ourselves a chance to make or just missed. And so, not going to live in regret. We got to go fix it and be better because of it, and evaluate the film and move on.
Katie?
What did you see from Ty in his first start, having some success but also facing some adversity?
Yeah, just you got to just trust his reads and just cut it loose sometimes. Just let it fly. He can make the throws. Just let it fly. And, throw on rhythm, throw on time. I might have been a time or two where they got in his face a little quick. That's going to happen. That's football. But just let it fly. And then, just some decision making there in certain critical moments. That's the things he's going to learn from. He's given everything he has, but it's where I know he's in the locker room, wanting, wishing that there was some things he would have done different, but there are other guys too. So we got to catch the ball for him once in a while. We got to, it's a full team sport. It's a whole offensive unit that has to move the ball up and down the field. The quarterback's the trigger man, but everyone's got to do their part to help the guy out.
Back over to left, Colin.
Hey, Kalen. We saw a lot of rotation, a lot of freshmen coming in. And why did you, use this opportunity to, rotate in, guys like Caleb Edwards, London Simmons? Did you see they earned the opportunity, or what was kind of the reason behind playing so many freshmen?
Yeah, at tight end, Caleb's the next guy up. That's really what it's about. So you got Josh and Danny's been down again here the last a little bit. You go through the depth chart. Had another ding or two on the in the tight end room that pulled some guys out for some plays, and some guys that have been out during camp, Marshall and a little bit limited. So that's where we're at in the depth chart there. And so there's gonna be young guys. It's what the world we're in right now, And so you got some older guys, and then all of a sudden, there's a gap, and younger guys got to step on the field and play. We go down the depth chart further on the defensive tackle interior list, and London's done some nice things as a freshman for us in practice, and some consistency there. We trust him. You got to go out there and he, getting thrown to the wolves, whatever you want to call it. That was certainly the case, but that's where we're at the rotation.
Finish over, Mike.
Just what would you say changed for the running game after the first drive? It was 55 yards in the first drive. It finished with 87.
Yeah. Trying to think of the runs in the first half or the first quarter, the first drive. I feel like they were very similar to some of the ones that we had in the fourth quarter. As far as the holes and the seams and getting through the first level. I think there were hard yards in the first quarter that we did have. We were able to stay ahead of the chains and continue to do that, and then the game kind of in the going into the third quarter for sure. You're trying to be patient, but those possessions are counting down on you. But I thought we did a good job staying committed to it as we went into the fourth quarter. There again, we hitting some plays up the middle. So there needs to be a better consistency. We didn't have any explosive. I didn't have, I guess, that I can think of any explosives like we need to have. It's hard to put drives together as we saw when you don't have chunk yardage plays. And they hit their explosives at times, the reverses and things like that. The ball down the field there in the first drive. We just, we had some explosives too, but most of them were in the air.
Thank you, Coach.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.